Oh.
I can move my mouse across the room. Okay.
Did you pay for that, by the way?
No, I got I never could get Share Mouse to working. Well, I'll tell you in the top of the show because I got a dude I want to thank for it.
Okay, cool.
We had somebody kind of come through for us. All right, here we go. It begins. Scott, what are you doing there? Okay, pull that up. All right, here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, Brian can donate now if he wants.
Tesco has a problem with their packaging.
Boy, do they. Sexy Ebola costumes are all the rage this year.
Really? George Clinton has things to say about his drugs.
It's not pretty. Harry Potter, can rap, yo.
Therapy Thursday and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
Yes, sirree. Any time of the day, Post Sugar Crisp is the cereal treat that's fun to eat. No wonder it's the fastest growing cereal treat in America. Full of nourishing wheat goodness and coated with energy-rich honey and sugar, Sugar Crisp has an exciting new kind of taste. Deliciously different from anything else you've ever tried. It's a honey of a new cereal.
This is outrageous! The Morning Stream, 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 the Morning Stream.
Easy listening for Office Depot parking lot taco eating. This is the Morning Stream.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Morning Stream. This is TMS. It is Thursday, the 30th of October. Tomorrow's Halloween, dude. It's time.
You don't say.
Yeah. No big changes on your end, right? As far as costumes and stuff, you're still going as I forget.
Yeah,
now.
still going as Augustus Gloop.
Oh, that's right.
Got to dig out. I got to find the blonde wig because I've got a, Augustus Gloop had hair. He didn't have much.
But he had enough.
A little tousle of blonde locks on the very top of his big bulbous head.
Yeah, he had enough hair to call it hair. It was a head of hair, where you have opted to shave that head.
I have, yes.
Yeah, and Augustus Gloop, he needs hair.
Save some for the factory, Augustus.
So here we are. We're doing this.
We are.
We got a
How about you? What are you doing? Are you dressing up?
I'm a pirate.
Yar, really?
Yeah, I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't. It's fine. Kim got me a huge hat and a crazy patch and a funny bird that sits on my shoulder and stuff.
Nice.
So, yeah, she's kind of doing this for me this year. I don't know why. I think it's because usually I think I have all these big plans. I'm working toward having something awesome for Halloween, and then it rolls around, and then I do jack shit. Then I just dress up in a sweatshirt and pants, and I go to the door and go, "Here, kid." I mean, that's basically it. So she's trying to pull me out of that mode a little bit.
Well, this year, we are breaking out the fog machine. This is we're doing a fire pit in the front yard with the crazy neighbors. We're breaking out the fog machine, and we're gonna light this SOB up.
You're gonna light it up. That sounds awesome. What a fun thing. Are you gonna try to scare children or just
No more than usual.
Okay.
No more than the usual amount of scariness that.
Like, Daddy, I don't think that's his real hair, Daddy. Yeah. Well, good. Well, we got all that coming up, and I'm excited about it. I have a couple of quick things I want to mention. One is a small poll. Listeners, you can write in after the fact. Chat room, you can speak up now.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Thinking about, now the chat room may not care as much because they're here live, and they do that often, right? A lot of them are here every day. Thinking about bumping the show's bit rate up for the podcast version, for the archive. From 96K BPS to 128K.
Wait, we're only giving them 96K?
Well, that's all we've done for 3 years.
I've been busting my butt to sound silky smooth, and we're only giving them 96K.
Well, it was a balance, right? Because 64K is like, oh, that's good enough for talk, but my opinion was that's not quite good enough. I'd like it to be a little better than that. Plus, we have music in the show.
Yeah.
So 96, 96 stereo, but pretty much kind of did the job. But I'm starting to feel like bandwidth has gotten to a point and storage has gotten to a point that people won't mind that 20 extra megabytes or so of data if they get the show at 128. I don't know that for sure. People are on limited data plans. I do not want to assume the Canadians aren't getting screwed. Like, that's my whole balance here is I'm trying Because I don't know enough about how things have evolved for everyone else. I mean, for me, it is absolutely no big deal for a file to be a little bigger. Storage-wise, archive, like all those things are fine. I just want to make sure the listeners aren't getting hosed by that deal. So I won't do it until I hear some feedback.
Sure. Yeah, that is the big drawback, is that all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I'm using up 1.5 times the amount of data to download. But set your portable player, your smartphones to only download when you're in Wi-Fi, and just
yeah, but then I'm going to hear from people that go, oh, I'm on some weird Canadian thing where my ISP won't let me have enough data or something.
And you're talking about Jocelyn and her weird,
and her
weird
Halifax
Canadian
bullshit
bandwidth
stuff she's dealing with up there. What is that all about? No, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And here's my general.
Boomcast is what that company is called, I believe.
My general rule of thumb is, if the show is an hour or less, I always do 128K. So like on Thursdays when we're about an hour, I do that. That's what I do.
Oh, it's automatic. Oh, really?
Yeah.
PM is automatically.
I shouldn't say automatic. I just make sure to do it that way. But the show during the day, like this one, will probably go an hour and a half to hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes. And it just adds up. It's like a 100 meg file at that point. So I don't know. I just don't want to assume. We'll wait for some feedback. We'll see what people say. This just in: Tim Cook has come out as gay.
Again?
Now, yeah, okay. That's what I said. This is old news. I am 100% certain we've heard this before. And some have suggested that this video that I'm about to play is where we heard it, and it wasn't, therefore, not official.
Right.
But here's what it said.
There are gay CEOs of major companies, and I reached out to many of them. And
By the way, this is a guy talking on CNBC with all their tickers and their tackers and their bullshit running all over the place. Okay, and that's what's happening there. Here's that.
I have to say I got an extremely cool reception. Not one would allow to be named.
Well,
in
I think Tim Cook is fairly open about the fact that he's gay at the head of Apple, isn't he?
Pause.
Oh dear, was that...
So he outed him.
I sure bungled that one, didn't I?
Oh, no. What have I done?
Well, certainly, Steve Ballmer, right? He's come out, hasn't he?
He's totally gay. I mean,
he's totally gay. I think he's even hit on me at a party or some sort.
I'm dancing around saying bit developers over and over. That means you're gay, doesn't it?
Marissa Myers even, fancied herself a little bit of... Has that not been publicly?
Sorry. Hopefully everyone's distracted by the 4,000 tickers around the screen.
Well, certainly Lee Iacocca has come out, right?
There you go. See? There you go. Let's see. I'm trying to find something. I cannot find anything, and I swear to you he was out, and he said so. Like, it wasn't just like somebody said he was.
Sure.
That he said he was. So this is not about, I don't care who's gay or not gay. I care about whether my brain is going or not. Because I swear, this is like the Pace Picante New Jersey, New York thing. I just know what happened.
Cook's gay.
Maybe it was on Charlie Rose or something. Somewhere. Yeah. Someplace. Tim Cook. Here, let's just spacebar gay. All right, hold on. Apple Pay versus Apple Gay. Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, that's not a headline.
No,
really?
It's a YouTube video, so what are you going to do? 4 months ago, Tim Cook, Apple CEO, is gay. Oh, that was the same video we just... Okay, anyway. I need to know. Somebody, look, that's what your job is, listener. You got to find this for us. I know that it happened before. And it was New Jersey, not New York. All right. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. Look at this, Brian.
I remember when Adam Curry came out, right? Is that not a thing?
Not Adam Curry? I mean, what's he doing now? You know the chap's got talent. I got a tweet from somebody yesterday.
Okay.
I just want to put this bros thing to bed finally.
That was on the Twitter thing, right?
Yeah, Twitter. It's some kind of
Twitter website.
Yeah. It's some kind of .com, all part of that .com.
That's places where people upload their Twitters, right?
Uh-huh. It's part of the information superhighway.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, I'm supposed to be killed when I say words like that. I hate that word. Scott Johnson says James Pusenetary.
Sure.
Jim, sorry, buddy. I don't know.
I'm sure that's exactly how it's.
Yeah. Well, he wants to support me here. He says it's on the bros conversation we were having about whether or not bros with a period should be pronounced as bros or brothers, and I say brothers. People say bros.
Of course.
He says, how about Venture Brothers or Warner Brothers or Dutch Brothers Coffee or Ringling Brothers Circus? All brothers, despite official abbreviations of the word brothers. All of them use BROS period.
Nobody does. All right, make sure you come down to the Ringling Bros Circus.
Nobody does. Nobody says, get me some Dutch Bros coffee. Nobody says, I'm going to go see the latest Warner Bros film.
Warner Bros. You just picture two guys with their sunglasses on those ropes around their neck, high-fiving each other every time they make a movie.
Yep.
Warner Bros.
Now, one thing on their side, I'll give you this one, okay? Liam O'Brien sent me a text. He says, I think I found a hole in our theory. I said, uh-oh, what?
Oh, really?
He says, what about Inc? INC for incorporated.
Oh, sure.
People use that all the time, including me. It's the exact same principle. So I've decided my argument isn't about whether or not people should be allowed to do this. It's just that bros sounds stupid. That's my only argument at this point. Yes, people do the shortening all the time. Yes, sometimes it works better than others. But I'm just also, my entire stance is this. You sound like an idiot when you say bros. That's it. That's all I'm saying. All right? Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
Agreed. Totally agreed. I'm just trying to think of a good ink there's Ink magazine, and it's not Incorporated magazine, it's Ink magazine.
Wasn't it? It's INC though, right?
It is.
Yeah, but that's definitely short for Incorporated.
Oh no, I mean it definitely is. But I'm just saying that one can be an allowable
Well, there's like Monsters
exception
Inc.
to the rule.
Monsters Inc. is a good one. That has a period, I think. That's a movie.
I love the Pixar film Monsters Incorporated. I'm a big fan.
It doesn't sound right, does it?
It doesn't. No.
How about movies with ink in them? All right, here we go. Food Inc.
Documentary, yeah.
That's all I can find. That's harder to. That
Pink
should be a new
Panther.
Pretty in ink. Yeah, that's all I can find. Anyway,
the band Lips Inc.
Lip Sync.
Lips Incorporated.
Yeah. Inc. It's a good band. Wouldn't really call them a band, would you?
In Synchronization. I love the band In Synchronization with the Justin Timberlake.
See, this is the point. There are plenty of examples you could pull out. I'm surprised they haven't done it, but I still stand by the point that it just sounds stupid to say bro. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to now thank somebody. Tin Vec, TINNVEC from the chat room. Was such a stud. He sent me a code for Synergy, the mouse sherry dealy thingy, and that fixed all my problems. The other one I was using, Share Mouse, is great. But if you have a Wacom, you're hosed. You got to buy the $49 a year.
I'm hosed too because I don't have a Wacom. I've just got a second monitor plugged into my PC, and even though I'm using with two computers, the fact that there's a second monitor attached to my PC means no mouse sherry for you unless you pay $45.
Yeah, a year too, by the way. You're renting
it.
You're not actually paying for it. So screw that. I'm going with the Synergy system, and I want to thank him for that. And it works flawlessly. There's no problems. It's a little more like hackery to get going. Like it's a little more like you got to.
Right. Yeah. You're doing some code work. So wait, Synergy is. I thought it was free. Is Synergy not free?
Synergy is free to some point. I forget. I forget how they do it now. Synergy Pro. I think it may have changed.
Synergy on this computer for a while, and at some point it just stopped working, and I stopped using it.
I'll look it up here. Synergy key.
It's one of those things that we hated too. One of those words that came up on an earlier.
Yeah, I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Synergy. Essentially lower cost version with a program. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I can't find it. Anyway, I think it costs now. I think that's the deal.
Okay.
So huge thanks to him for the code. That was super nice. Got an email from Anton.
Hey, Tin, if you've got a second code to hook a brother up.
Hey, hook Brian up over there. Brian, listen, I got news for you. Got news.
Oh, okay.
Boop, beep, beep, boop. That's my news sound, and here's my news. Brian can donate his poop. Anton sent me a link via email to tell you that, because you were so shocked yesterday about the poop donation.
Oh, right. Yes, getting the bacteria from healthy people with an immunity.
Correct. So you, sir, can have your own. You can start doing it now. You can start donating now.
Have your poop and share it too.
It's the Poop Bank in Massachusetts. They will pay you $40 every day. So if you go in there take a dump. Give it to them. They'll give you $40. Are you under 50 years old, willing to make daily trips to Medford and have regular bowel movements? You, my friend, could be earning $40 a day. All you have to do is visit the Open Biome, launched in 2012 as the only independent nonprofit stool bank in the country. It's the brainchild of MIT proctoral associate Mark Smith, who does not have a very unique name. Open Biome collects, tests, and provides fecal samples to 122 hospitals in 33 states for one of the most interesting medical treatment innovations today, fecal microbiota transplantation.
But I have to travel to Medford.
Yeah, you got to go crap.
I can't just poop in a padded envelope, seal it.
This is correct.
Stick a stamp on it.
Yeah. What's cool is, this is what I like. If you go into that link and scan down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to see. You can see those bottles.
Instructions.
Well, look at the bottles there. See, what they've done is they've boiled it all down to whatever the needed bit is. Those are just bottles of what looks like crystalline something.
Wow, no kidding.
Well, there's nothing gnarly there.
That really doesn't look like it's kept in a very clean area. Look at all the. Is that ice?
Yeah.
I hope that's just ice.
I think it's
around it.
maybe drug paraphernalia. I don't know what's happening there. It looks like something Walter White left in the motorhome.
Yeah, I mean, there's like that. There's white powder all over.
Yeah, it's not the most. Yeah, I agree with you. Get OSHA over there. Let's see what's going on. There is a chart down there. It says this is the most important thing you'll do all day. Depending on the size of your poop. That depends on how many people you're treating. So if you poop 100 grams a day, one dude gets help. If you poop 450 grams a day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people can be treated because of your willingness to go poop in Medford. So anyway,
go poop in Medford.
Yeah, go poop
do it
in
today.
Medford. Do it today at the poop bank. I love that name, the poop bank. All right, enough of this wiggle waggle. We're going to call Daryl now. Because,
By the way, we are on Alpha Geek now. Gnomewise has hooked us up. We're on the in development server.
Oh, I got to go do that manually then.
No, he's already got us. He says that we're already on air.
Oh, how's he hearing us? That's weird. Because I'm not broadcasting to the
Oh, really?
server. No.
Oh, then I don't know.
Here, let me. Okay. It says I'm broadcasting on channel 1. Am I, Todd? I have no idea.
He says it's the development channel. So media.alphagecradio.com/shows/indevelopment.html.
There you go. So those of you who can't hear us right now, write that down. And we got a chicken and egg problem, I think. All right, here we go. Daryl is being added to the call. Okay, here he comes. He's coming in. There's no stopping him now. And he can confirm whether he can hear this or not.
There's no stopping us now.
My guess is he can't. It's Stump a Trek Nerd, brought to you by
Too Much Chai Tea. Who says you can't have too much of a good thing?
Yeah.
Chai Tea does.
I do. Don't have 2 of those a day. It made me really grumpy by the end of the day. I think that was it. It was just making me jittery. Daryl, are you there?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good. You can't hear us on Alpha Geek, can you?
No, but Twitch is working, so I can listen there.
All right, good. Yeah, I don't know what's... It says I'm broadcasting. I don't know how Todd's pulling this, but yeah, I don't know. People will have to confirm or deny whether it's working. Daryl, let's get to the damn deal here. You're on the show again, which means fun times for everyone. It's Star Trek time. We talk about Star Trek. We do trivia. You answer the question to the best of your ability. And then depending on how you do, depends on how much we ridicule you at the end. Are you ready for another day of this?
I am ready.
Okay. I got a clip version, this clip show here. What episode do you think this clip comes from?
Engineering.
Mr. Scott?
Scotty. Lieutenant Uhura, report immediately. All bridge personnel report immediately. Kirk to crew. Is anyone aboard?
Sick bay. Dr. McCoy.
Bones, answer me.
Bones.
Okay. I can't tell if that was edited or not. Was it?
Yeah, it was.
It seems unfair that he's editing them to me. Doesn't it?
I know it, though.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Don't even give me the choices.
All right. I'm not going to give you choices. We're just going to see how you do at the end of this birthday thing, because we still have no food. By the way, if you guys want to send in food, you can. It's fine. You can totally do that. Like weird things from strange places. The weirder, the better.
But
like
please, no crickets.
Yeah, no crickets. We're done. We had that. But don't send us like a box of Twizzlers because we can get those at the store.
Unless they're unusual Twizzlers. I mean, let's not rule out the Twizzlers if it's like, here's a tamarind flavored Twizzlers.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. If they're weird and from some region or something strange, like strange Kit Kats were one of our favorites. That stuff's fine.
Yeah, see.
But if you live in like, I don't know, Idaho, and you went and you got a Snickers at the local gas station, we don't want that.
But all right. But again, caveat to that. Let's say you live a block from the Snickers plant, and when you buy Snickers actually at the factory, they taste much better than gas station Snickers.
Do they?
Definitely send us one of those.
Do they do that? I didn't know they were better. Are they?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying as an example.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that is a thing that you can get.
He's just making something up.
Just making something up. And I'm saying, like, if you live, if it's something that we can get here, but when you get it at the factory, it's better than what we get here, then sure, we'd love to try it.
All right.
Or far, far worse.
Sure.
No, I don't think we want to try anything that's far worse than what we can get.
That's a good point. And no thick and liquid either. Crickets and thick and liquid. We're done with those two.
Right. Anything you want to take off the table, Daryl?
Yeah, where's your head at?
No poop samples.
All right, no poop samples. You got it. Don't go to Medford.
Fair enough.
Can't trust the Snickers in Medford, I'm telling you. All right, Daryl, good times. Let's get to your birthday here. Who's celebrating in Star Trek land?
That would be Jeremy Raymond. He's 32 today. He played the lead Nibirian in Into Darkness. He's the lead crusty white alien guy.
Hold on a minute. Crusty white. Oh, on the planet that they're getting chased by.
Yeah.
At the beginning, right.
Mm-hmm.
I like that planet. I thought that was a cool look.
Yeah.
Is that based on old school TOS stuff? Like, is that a race that we've seen before? No,
just its own thing.
I liked it. I think
it's based on John Delancey's hands.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm shaking those hands. Those hands are not only white and crusty, they're also cheap. All right, let's get back to your question then. I feel like this is one I should know because I remember this episode and one of these names looks familiar to me, but you didn't even ask for the names. That's how confident you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what a master you are.
Yeah. I may share when you get this, but let's see if you got it. So which one of those do you say it is? And why are you so sure is the bigger question.
Well, we did this one a few weeks ago on This Week in Trek.
Man, Iceworm, keep up, man. Jeez.
But I think I would have known it anyway.
All right.
Because he's on the Enterprise and it's totally empty and he keeps calling for everyone.
Is this like the one where Crusher did that? Where she, same idea, right? Where the ship kept getting smaller and there were like less and less crew and then eventually it was just her on the ship or her on the bridge?
Well, no.
No?
It wasn't anything like that.
Oh. Well, except for the idea that he's alone, right?
Yeah.
Well, then it's a little bit like it, isn't it?
Okay.
It's a tiny bit like it.
It's kind of like it.
Yeah, where the captain's the only one left, and so is she. That's a little bit like it. Just a tiny bit.
Except that it wasn't really the Enterprise he was on. It was a duplicate.
Oh, well, there's your problem.
And she was on the real one. It was just shrinking.
Yeah. That was a cool episode, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you think?
We've never needed a crew more than 4 people to run this ship, Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Beverly? Then she turned her head, and then he was gone. Computer, where did Captain Picard go? There is no Captain Picard on this freaking ship. Like, eventually, wouldn't the computer disappear, though, because the people that made it no longer exist in that universe? There's some problems with that.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, the ship itself would go away, because where's all the dudes what made it?
Yeah. You just have to ignore that, I guess.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's hard to ignore. Now.
So anyway.
All right. So what do you think?
Don't ruin that. It's a good episode.
All right, fine.
In that clip, Kirk is calling out to all these people, and he's just not giving up. He's super persistent. And then later on, Spock tries. He tries one time and gives up.
Really? He asked for one name? Who's he asked for?
I don't remember that.
That'd
be a good question.
That would be a good trivia question. And you know what? Since you don't know that, it'd be a big... You'd get that guy.
I think it's Kirk that he asks for.
Oh, all right. Jim, then. Jim?
Or he might have done it twice.
Would he say Jim or Captain? Because you never knew.
Probably Captain.
All right.
Captain, is anyone aboard? Huh, guess nobody's there.
Yeah.
Is what Spock says. But
Yeah.
Kirk just keeps trying over and over again.
Well, Kirk is, if anything, he is persistent. Let's give him that. We'll give him credit
It's
for
like
that.
when somebody calls you on the phone, or when you... Oh, never mind. Okay, I'll finish it as lame as it is.
All right.
I'm going to let you finish.
When somebody calls somebody on the phone and they just say hello,
Yeah.
hello over and over again, even though there's nobody there,
Yeah.
they just keep saying hello.
It's annoying, isn't it?
What's even better is when they tap the hang up button on the phone.
Yeah.
Hello? Tap,
Hello?
tap, tap,
Tap,
tap,
tap, tap,
hello?
tap, hello. Does anyone do that anymore? That's an old thing, isn't it? Does anyone
Yeah,
do
that's
that?
what they did in the 50s.
You can't do it with phones now anyway, cell phones anyway. Because what are you going to do? Just like tapping your screen?
Send, right. Send, cancel, send, cancel, send, cancel.
It's a thing I miss, though, because it was a great movie trope where you were sure that there's something wrong with the line. Operator.
You can still do it with the light switch, right? Because when you walk into a dark room and you try and flick on the light switch and it doesn't work the first time, you jiggle it like 5 times to see if that's the problem.
Yeah,
really fast.
Exactly. But at some point, we're going to get to the point where all homes have that home automation thing, and there's a chip in you that activates the lighting, and when that doesn't work, it's not like you can slap your neck or wherever the chip is. So times are changing, man. Get ready.
Yeah.
Lock in. All right, Daryl.
You got 30 seconds!
What's your answer?
Okay, Mark of Gideon.
Oh, wow. That was quick. Let's find out.
Congratulations.
Very nice.
You're a winner.
Your other possible options were the Empath, the Tholian Web, and Lights of Zatar. But the Mark of Gideon is correct. Kirk finds himself on an empty duplicate of the Enterprise. Later, he finds a woman named Odona who has the disease vegan...
Choriomeningitis.
Choriomeningitis.
I said it wrong, too.
Meningitis. Choriomeningitis.
There you go.
Meningitis. Yeah,
but it's
you're right.
vegan choriomeningitis.
Yeah. Vegan the planet, though.
One.
Yeah. So there was a vegan race. I've seen a diagram of these creatures.
They'd be vegan, not vegan.
Oh, did they say vegan?
Because the planet's Vega, not Vega. Or the star, I mean, is
I like that it's
vegan.
vegan. The planet Gideon was facing massive overpopulation problems, and the disease was supposed to help control it. There you go. Daryl did it.
Yeah.
Nice job. He is the Trek Nerd on Twitter and at This Week in Trek at ThisWeekinTrek.com and the Grumpy Cast. Daryl, why don't you now do a thing? What do you got?
Okay, is this a Star Trek drink or an actual drink?
Do I have a theme for that? Hold on. Jeez. Probably do. Star Trek drink or actual drink?
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
Vitamins are not a panacea for all the troubles of mankind.
All right.
Firefly.
Actual drink or Star Trek drink? Firefly.
Dang it.
I think we just keep guessing real drink until we get one of these.
Yeah, because like
But this one sounds familiar, but I don't know if it sounds familiar because of
actual Firefly.
Well, no, because of because of Deep Space Nine viewing. Again, it could be something that Quark serves in the bar.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm torn on this one.
What are you feeling? What are you feeling?
I feel Star Trek, but I was
All right.
wrong yesterday, and I agreed with you, and we were wrong. So what do you think? I don't know.
I would still lean towards real drink. It sounds like something they'd name a real drink, right? Like you'd have
it does.
Something brightly colored in the bottom, and you'd do a like a seven layer Pousse Café on top of that to kind of give it some color.
Whatever that is.
What, a 7-layer Pousse Café? What? You guys haven't heard of a 7-layer Pousse Café?
I have
Is
not.
that like Nescafe?
I have never heard of this in my life.
This is where you take 7 liqueurs and let's see if I can find it. There it is. 7-layer Pousse Café. You take 7 different alcohols and of all different densities, and you pour them into a glass very carefully, and it makes a cool 7-layered drink.
Okay. Wow.
That sounds neat.
It is really neat. I'll put some links.
People
in the
could make
chat
a
room
bar.
so
They could make
pictures
a
of it.
bar where they just have different combinations of those same ingredients and call it Drinko Bell. How about that?
Hey, but you can't put them in a different order is the problem. They always have to be in the same order because they're different densities. But there's a link in the chat room where you can see the 7-layer Pousse
look at
Café.
that. Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to go with your gut on this. I'm going to say that it's a drink. Why not?
A real drink.
A real drink.
We're saying real drink.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing you did because it is a brand of U.S. vodka.
Oh.
Look at us. Look at the brain on Brian. I would have gone Star Trek on
Firefly
that.
vodka.
Nice job, everyone. Well done. I mean, there are worse things in this world than getting that wrong, but I feel pretty good about it today.
The best drink in the verse.
In the verse. Here's this.
Television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
It's the news.
And it's brought to you by your opportunity to match wits with the stars. Yes, play against folks like Jury and Nicole Spagnolo and Tom Merritt and even our very own Scott Johnson on the Frog Pants Trivia Show. That is coming up tonight, the pilot episode, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, the only time zone that matters, live right here, right where you're listening to us or watching us right now.
Yep. Go to patreon.com/TMS and see what needs to be unlocked for that to become a regular deal. Very excited about how this is going to turn out. So be there tonight at 5 p.m. Mountain Time.
PM.
Yeah, that's 4 p.m. Pacific. That's
so half an hour earlier than we usually do, people.
Yeah, that's important.
If you show up at the regular time, you're going to miss the first 30 minutes of excitement.
Yeah, then you're just a dingus. Look at this here. Tesco put out a penis-themed buttermilk package.
Oh, perfect.
Now, Tesco is not a brand I'm super familiar with. I have heard of them before, but I don't think they're a thing I can buy around here. But click that link, Brian, and you tell me if you think that photo looks a little phallic. Especially
when you've got the carton that's been like dinged a little bit.
Yeah, that one's no good. That one's been circumcised is what you're getting at.
That's right. That is hilarious. Somebody was looking at the positive and not the negative, basically. You know how you look at they're looking
it's like
at the white
silhouette, right? Yeah, it's like supposed to be, the white is supposed to be the dominant thing. And that orange is supposed to really just serve as a backdrop for the picture. But what they did instead, the guy's got testicle problems. Oh, jeez.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's real trouble there. Anyway, it's very unfortunate. Whoever designed this buttermilk package may have something else on their mind, says The Guardian.
He's got jugs on his testicles.
There's no escaping it. The design of this carton looks like a penis, and it's a carton of buttermilk, and we don't need to say much more. The unfortunate design has gone unnoticed and attracted puns galore when it posted on Reddit over the weekend. They really made I'm not going to read that. Quipped a Redditor. So there you go. That's the thing that we talked about here on the show. Never say we didn't talk about something, because we did. We just did. Also, Halloween tomorrow. Tomorrow's Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And as it turns out, Brian, you can be one of the first to pick up a sexy Ebola containment suit. Look at this.
You know, you put the word sexy on it. All you do to make a costume sexy is expose the midriff, expose the legs.
Yep, basically. Pretty much. In this case, she's...
actually, she's not even exposing that much.
It's more go-go booty.
Yeah, that's not sexy at all.
No. In fact, but it's also not going to be very good at protecting you against Ebola either. That's a funny bit. It comes with the Ebola white costume dress, the Ebola face shield, the breathing mask, safety eye goggles, blue latex gloves, boots not included. So for $59.99,
you have to supply your own yellow boots?
Yes, that sucks. $59.99 will get you the base outfit. $189.97 will get you the base outfit, the boots, and like the over sheet thing where you actually do look like one of those things.
What do you
call it? The protective gown.
Well, that's the unsexyizer, right? Because then that covers up the
the terrible part.
Right. So you get the boots to make it sexier, but then you get the whole overcoat thing, the whole hazmat suit, containment suit. And that kind of defeats the purpose.
It's kind of silly. This is at Branson Sale. Yeah, bransonsale.com. Unique costume shop and more.
It's brands on sale.
Oh, brands. It could be Branson.
Okay, sure.
Hey, are you telling me PennIsland.com is not penis land? Is that what you're telling
Branson me? Isn't spelled with a D.
Oh, it isn't?
Like Branson, Missouri? No, it's just Branson.
Oh, well, you're right. Brands on sale. That makes sense, doesn't it? I'm trying to see if they have a whole section that's just nothing but the sexy ones to see if there's.
So while you're looking for that, we've got a big, of course, all of the alarmist news sources here in Colorado are up in arms over Halloween candy because, and you can probably guess why this is happening, because there are brands of pot-laced candy like edibles that have parody labels like Reefer's peanut butter cups.
Oh, right.
It looks like the Reese's.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're worried that people are going to accidentally be giving out pot-laced candy to the kids because their drug-addled minds can't tell the difference between.
So there's no actual cases of it yet, right? Nobody's.
Oh God, no. And they're, I'm sure there'll be one, or there'll be a situation where somebody, finds one in their bag, but it's probably one that they just got from their own house because their parents are doing pot or something like that. I mean, it's.
This came up before on the show. There was some talk about Reese's suing, or whoever owns Reese's was suing them, right? For name infringement or trademark or something. Huh. I was just looking at some of this. They had peanut butter, like a whole jar of peanut butter. Pot butter.
Hashies.
Great. Well, I haven't heard of any good scares around here. It's all, but when back in our day it was fun because it was like there's glass or razor blades in your candy. Remember that? Those were the 80s, man. Man, we weren't taking prisoners back then.
No, we had something really to be scared about.
Yeah, here it's like, oh, there might be a little pot in your candy. Oh. Your kid might be chilled out for once. Oh. I'm not advocating
snockers.
Pot. I'm not advocating children have pot. That's not what I'm doing, everybody. Calm down.
Ganja finger.
HelloFresh.com is sponsoring today's show.
There's no pot in that.
Nope, none. There's lots of fresh veggies, though. Lots of fresh grown things that just aren't pot. Just happen not to be pot. If you want the farm fresh ingredients of said meals from actual chefs sent straight to your door in all the fresh ways possible, and you want to be able to make that meal in 30 minutes or less, let's say, on a nice cold Halloween evening, then visit HelloFresh.com right now and use the code MorningStream for 50% off for first-time users. That's MorningStream at checkout at HelloFresh.com.
Chairman J. Parnell Thomas of New Jersey opens an inquiry into possible communist penetration of the Hollywood film industry.
It is Celebrity Poop, and it is brought to you by...
Too much time spent in Beyond Earth.
Yeah, that game's good.
Hooked on that Will Smith movie, huh?
Well...
no, it's After Earth.
Yeah, that's After Earth. I never did see that. Did you see it?
Well, he did see it.
What did you think of that there?
It was all right.
Yeah, I heard it was terrible, is what I heard.
Yeah, good premise. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was just the wrong people in the starring roles. Maybe it shouldn't have been
Will Smith and his son.
Will and Jaden. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was like you said, it was a good premise.
Yeah. I like a good premise. Mm-hmm. I just don't like it when they ruin them. So Beyond Earth is good. It's the Civ 5. Basically, it's a sequel to Civ 5, and it's after everything on Earth is done, and now we're in space. So you go to these new planets. The biggest problem with it is you're basically playing the same game, but just with weird technologies and on another planet. But really, it's like a skin for civilization.
Gotcha.
That's kind of what it feels
Right.
like. I think that's a little disappointing. It'd been fun to see some things that are maybe a little different, but the game's pretty good. I still like it a lot, so playing that. George Clinton, not former ex-president Bill Clinton.
Or his brother.
Or his brother.
Didn't he have a brother named George Clinton?
Was it George? I think you're right. There is a George, right?
I thought that Bill had a brother named George.
Bill Clinton, brother. Here we go. We're going to look this up. Oh, Roger Clinton.
Roger Clinton.
That's his name.
Roger Clinton Jr. Okay.
Yeah. Bill Clinton, 68 years old.
Wow.
Moving on up. Here's the deal. George Clinton, the musician guy,
with all the dreads, was in the P-Funk All-Stars.
That's the guy.
Yep.
He's known for his drug use. I've heard a few stories that there's some crazy stuff going on. Yeah.
Who would have thought that guy did drugs?
A big shock to everybody here listening. He was talking about his LSD use, and he said this in a recent interview. They call LSD acid because that's exactly what it is. It blows up your digestive system and blows your bum out. We spent more time in the bathroom in those days than you could imagine, and there were hemorrhoids everywhere. And I want to focus in on the final line.
Yeah.
There were hemorrhoids everywhere.
Hemorrhoids everywhere.
What is that even? I don't even want to know what that means.
That's enough to turn me off of LSD. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Hemorrhoids, millions of hemorrhoids.
They don't tell you that. One of the biggest problems with drug use today is it just jacks up all your other normal systems so bad that you can't hardly recover. Who's the guy that's who played Who played Tobias? I always forget the comedian's name.
Tobias Funke?
Yeah.
It's Larry or David Cross.
David Cross has said on stage anyway, so who knows how true this is. But he used to do a lot of coke and a lot of other drugs. Okay, and he said as a result, I haven't had a solid poop in 20 years. So I think you got to watch out for them drugs, folks. Don't be taking them drugs. It's not good for you.
Oh yeah, no.
He should go to the. He could help a lot of people if he just moved to. Where was the place that with the poop place?
Medford.
Medford. That's it. The poop place. Yeah, you got it.
The poop place. I like that. That's now what it's known for. Where's the poop place?
Why, it's Medford, Massachusetts. Since you asked. Hey, did you watch any of the game last night? The baseball game?
No.
The World Series Game 7 piece of business?
No, but I saw all your tweets about it. I'm like, all right, who is tweeting on Scott Johnson's account about sports?
Well,
who's taken over?
I only had 2, and they were mainly snarky because I think their pitcher looks like
Matthew McConaughey.
And I'm like, just keep that guy around.
That's what I was wondering because this morning when they were talking about the win and they were showing Baumgartner on the mound, I was like, oh, is there? I guess the other pitcher's guy must be McConaughey because I saw Scott's tweets.
No, I was dorking around. I haven't really even followed it that closely. I do like baseball, but for whatever reason, I'm more into its history than I am its actual goings on all the time.
You're into the Ken Burns side of history.
I am, yeah.
Baseball.
I really am. I love it. I think it's awesome. And even give me 10, go back a decade, and then from there go back, and then I'm all interested again. But for whatever reason, whatever's happening now is just less interesting to me. I don't know why. I always like it as a more historic venue for being a fan. But anyway, Dills is real happy because San Francisco pulled it out and they all got drunk.
He was so happy he played an extra game of Hearthstone last night.
Right, I know. That guy knows how to celebrate. Jeez.
He tipped over a police car and then played some Hearthstone.
That's right. Harry Potter in the news. Daniel Radcliffe specifically. He can rap, it turns out. He was on Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Fallon often gets his guests to do goofy stuff. I'll give you an example of just how goofy. Here is a screen grab I'm just taking now in real time. Chat room, you get a look at it too. Here you go. Okay. Just look at the face on Jimmy. He's thinking to himself, I just got Harry Potter to do something weird. So here he is rapping. Let's take a look. Listen here. I'm going to skip ahead a bit.
There's a disease. Black Alicious' out.
All right.
All right, you guys.
So he's got a microphone. Got the band playing.
Now it's time for our wrap-up. Let's give it everything we've got. Ready? Begin. You begin.
Artificial amateurs aren't at all amazing. Analytically, I assault animate things.
Okay, now he's just starting. This is nothing so far.
Wait, that's him? That is Daniel Radcliffe?
That's Daniel Radcliffe. He's got kind of a...
He raps without any accent whatsoever.
I know, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But it gets me even more hardcore. So right now, he just sounds like something I could do, right? Not hard, kind of even paced or whatever, but just keep listening.
Broken barriers bound in by the bomb beat. Buildings are broken. Basically, I'm bombarding. Casually create catastrophes, casualties, canceling cats got their canopies collapsing. Detonate a dime a dank, daily do and do. Demonstrations, Don Dada on the down low. Eating other editors with each and every energetic, epileptic episode, elevated etiquette. Furious, fat, fabulous, fantastic. Flurries of funk felt feeding the fanatics. Gift got great, global goods gone glorious. Getting godly in his game with the glorious. Hit him high, hella height, historical. Hey, Holocaust hands, hear him holler at your homeboy. Imitators idolize, I intimidate. In an instant, I'll rise in an irate state. Juiced on my jams like Jerry Curls, ducking joints justly. It's just me writing my journals. Kindly am kindling all kinds of ink.
I should mention this. Jimmy's dropping cards with the letters of the alphabet on them.
Okay,
and that's why he's focusing on that words with that letter during that part.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
So every time he finishes one of the letters, Jimmy drops a card. And then there's the next one. So there you go.
Karate Kid type Brits in my kingdom. Let me live a long life lyrically. Lessons is learn lame louses, just lose to my leverage. My mind makes marvelous moves, masses. Marvel and move, many mock what I've mastered. Nap know when I'm nice naturally. Knack never nap, make noise nationally. Operation opposition off, not optional. Out of sight, out of mind, wide beaming obstacles. Perfected poem, powerful punchlines, pummeling petty powder puffs in my prime. Quite quotes, keep quiet, it's quantum. Quarrel isn't got a quart of water, we gotta. Really raw raps, rising up rapidly, riding the rushing radioactivity. Super scientific, sound search thought.
Wow.
Simplify saps out of soft. Tails 10 time talented, too tough.
Take
T. That, challengers, get a tune up.
S
Universal,
for you.
unique, untouched, unadulterated, the raw, uncut. Verb vice words, victorious, valid. Violate vines at a vein, make him vanish. Well, my word with a wise worst myth, just weeded up words we've been enough, I'm a worship. Xerox, max radiation, old accessory, X, height letters, 6 telephone tones, yellowback, yak mouth, young ones, yours. Yesterday's dawns, all cells are yawns.
And Z.
Zigzag zombie, zooming to the zenith, zero intent, thoughts overzealous from Zealous.
That's freaking impressive, dude.
That is amazing. Wow.
I mean, that's
All right.
really impressive. And he's not reading anything. He was doing that all from heart. His eyes are all over the place. So, wow.
It sounded like he memorized it phonetically from some sort of American performer.
He might have. That Harry Potter.
That's awesome.
It's pretty good. You can listen to that and more in your Tweaked Audio earbuds. Put them in your ear and listen to them. They're sponsoring today's show. That's because they love you. Designed to sound great with music and talk, compatibility, lifetime warranty, and more. Just stick them in your ears and see what you think. Stream at checkout for 33% off. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Wendy will be here with Therapy Thursday. That'll be fun. After that, music and, maybe an email or something. I don't know. Brian, do you have a song for us now?
Drop us, Rhymus, Experiamus.
Oh, brilliant. Perfect.
Yes, I do. Here is, this is going out to Edgar. By the way, I do want to shout out, big happy birthday shout out to Andy Bilodeau, Andy Castor in the chat room. He's having a birthday tomorrow. Didn't get to his request, but did want to give him a big happy birthday. So there's that.
Very nice.
All right. Edgar says, Dear Fry and Lori, my birthday was last week, October 21st. I'm 35 years old now. I wasn't really in the mood to celebrate, but a nice bottle of Côte du Rhône can always change things. So what I'm planning to do is enjoy this TMS PM week while you play a cover of Get Lucky by Daughter. What do you think? Thank you very much. I have a lovely weekend. Oh, have a lovely weekend. Edgar from Mexico City. Love the show, though.
Nice.
Very good. This is great. And this was one of my picks last year for best cover of the year. This is Daughter. And this was submitted to me by the band themselves. I don't have an album to link to, unfortunately, and hopefully Iceworm, when he puts links up at coverville.com/TMS. That's where you can always go to find links to all the music we play on this show, by the way.
Nice.
Hopefully he'll be able to find a link to where you can download this or buy it or whatever. The band is Daughter. It is Daft Punk's Get Lucky. And this is haunting and moody and beautiful, and you're going to love it. Daughter and Get Lucky.
Perfect. I like it a lot. Here it is. We'll be back in a minute. Stay tuned.
Brought to you by the Signal Oil Company, marketers of Signal gasoline and motor oil and fine quality automotive accessories. Remember, if you would like the fun of having your friends hear a limerick of yours on the Whistler, the address to which to send it is Signal Oil Company, Los Angeles 55, California. All limericks become the property of Signal Oil Company.
First-rate spaceman.
They are all that is.
What's going on? I know Wendy's around, though. At least I talked to her last night, so we should be good. I even have a theme for her today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Where'd I put it?
Da, 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 da. No?
No, that's not it at all. But I got to say, that was pretty good. All right, we're ringing. It's ringing. I see the little lines going up. There are dots rising. It can only mean one thing. That it's ringing. Let's see here. I may...
Dots Rising was my favorite asteroid disaster movie.
Yes, right? That it's ringing. Dots Rising, man.
Oh, no, I guess that was Dots Impact.
Yeah, close. Close. You almost had it. All right. Come on there, Wendell. What are we doing here? Let's just, let me text her, I guess. Let's see what's up. Now I can text her because she finally put her email into her iMessage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, they do have bad data plans there.
Right. And it'd be like $7.25 to receive this text.
Yeah. Yep. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Recent. You there? Come on, man. Answer the phone. I'm actually on time today, which was my goal.
I know. We're doing great. And then she screwed it all
up. Never count on your sister to...
Mm-hmm.
What does that say? I want to upgrade. Okay. All right. Let me double check my mail. Man, I love Inbox. Freaking love
really?
it. Yes.
I'm waiting for an invite. I know somebody out there is
I would
gonna
give you
hook me
one
up
if
at
they
some
gave
point.
it. It says here, I was told that within a couple of days I would have a bunch of invites to give out, and there are none in here to give out.
Yeah. Eventually.
Oh, she says,
oh, here she comes.
She says, "Ack, yes."
She pulled a Kathy. I'm expecting like little sweat drops. Like, ack.
All right, let's try her again. This might work this time. Yeah, I was supposed to have invites. I don't know why I don't.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hey, sorry about that.
Hey, you're
Okay.
fine. What's up? How you doing?
Turn it on.
Oh, yeah, that's a trick. You got to make sure to turn it on.
Because it kills my battery.
I understand. It does. Okay. You gotta kill that after we're done here, so you don't lose your battery all week. Hello, Wendy. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm very good.
We're good.
Yeah, we're great. Lovely evening there in Sweden. Lovely morning here in Salt Lake City and Denver.
Yes. Are you ready for Halloween, everybody?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes.
No.
We got the fog machine all queued up. We got a big bag of candy.
Yeah, I may have started the wrong week to start eliminating processed sugar from my diet. I'm thinking
This whole season's the wrong time of year for that.
I know. I was trying to be good so that by the time the trip came around, I wasn't craving any of that crap, and I just eat healthy while I was out there. But we'll see. And we're doing full-size candy bars, so all the kids in the neighborhood are all flipping out, excited to come here. So that'll be good. Of course. Yeah. Kim did that because she went against my wishes.
That's right. Now that you've gotten on that trail, though, the first year you don't do it, you're getting TP'd, egged.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said to her.
You're locked in now.
You've established this norm that I'm not sure I can maintain. But
you had the perfect opportunity. Brand new neighborhood.
Yep.
They don't know your whole, full-size candy bar past.
Yeah.
So you could have started with the fun size.
Yeah.
But no,
I could give out
And
floss
fun
or something.
size is fun.
Yeah, it's real fun.
There's nothing fun about the fun size.
I'm giving everybody a half a slice of Wonder Bread, putting it in their bag and kicking them out.
Oh, God.
That's my idea. All right. Well, Wendy's here. She is a therapist and my sister. But first my sister, then she became a therapist. And she knows a lot of stuff about a lot of things. She deals with a lot of people. We got a great question today. It's short, to the point. I like these. This came from someone we're going to call Superbot. All right? We'll use their pseudonym. And here's the question. Hey, Streptococcus and Bordetella and Wendy, of course.
Why can't he find a disease that goes with my name?
I don't know. Why not? Well, let's think of one. Wiener warts.
Maybe it's harder.
Warts. How about that?
Gross.
Just warts is good.
Never mind.
I have a sister-in-law who is very anti-vaccine. Here's the hitch, though, says Superbot. My brother and her have 5 kids, including 2 sets of twins, ages 2 and 4 months. Wow, that's a lot of twins. The rest of my family finds it scary that she won't vaccinate her children. But it is almost impossible to reason with her on the topic. She reads anti-vaccine blogs and such and takes them over actual published studies. So here's my question. How do you talk to someone with such obvious confirmation bias? Is there any way to show her that she's falling prey to biases and putting her own and others' children at risk? How do we get around the walls she puts up when someone has a different opinion than she does? I hope that you can provide some insight and logic as logic alone doesn't seem to work. Thanks. Superbot. Okay.
Great. So how long before sexy bonehead Jenny McCarthy gets mentioned in this
I wonder.
episode of Therapy
I don't know if she's
Thursday?
still doing that. Is she still
Sexy
preaching that?
bonehead.
I think to get back on The View, she had to cut back a little bit on her rhetoric.
Well, and she even did some sort of public thing where she recanted her statement or adjusted it or something.
Yes,
But,
multiple things. Even one just like a couple days ago. Like,
yeah, might be too
I
little,
was
too late.
not.
Yeah.
I've never said that. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And someone interviewing her said, "You either are the most or how did they put it? But basically, like, wow, either Hollywood got this so incredibly wrong, or you're so full of crap."
Yeah, one of the
So
other.
she recanted. I really do think it has to do with being on the show, to be honest. And then there's things that people have said, like, well, I'm not. Well, her argument is, I never said people should not vaccinate their kids. I said they should get educated and consider the risks, and they should look at maybe another schedule of vaccinations, which, by the way, is the worst idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's just hedging.
So yeah, and the other thing is I think she forgot that as a public person, there's actually all this record of her saying when the things she said and when she said them.
Yeah,
so I don't know why you would deny that. But anyway, apart from that, well, I mean, what is the basic core history of why there's even a discussion about this, or why there is a divide? What does one side say and what does the other side say in response?
Well, so there's ridiculous amounts of science and research to back up their efficacy. There's the fact that you don't know anyone with polio as more evidence. The fact, I mean, there's so much that gives us context for why vaccines work. But here's a perfect example. Just the other day, Mom sends me a link from, I swear to you, the website was like crazypantstheory.com or something. I don't know. Like such an obvious conspiracy theorist like website. And it was about HPV vaccination and that, 33 girls have died from getting it. And it's the government's conspiracy and everyone's making money off this vaccine. And it's, blah, 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 blah. And Mom's like, did you know about this? And I wrote her back and I said, well, if it was from a reputable source, I might really look at it. But it's not. She goes, how do you know? And I'm like, look at the ads on the side of it, Mom. They're like, Obama's killing your babies in their sleep. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, sure.
So I think what ends up happening, I really think this is what happens. I think the average person, we'll talk about conspiracy theorists because they matter in this debate.
Sure.
But I think the average person just doesn't have the time or inclination to do much research about half the stuff they probably should or would want to if they had the time, right?
Right.
So they just kind of trust.
Well, part of the problem is that the tools they're given for that research these days is a little bit confusing. Like I can type in salt causes, and immediately I get cancer, high blood pressure, water retention, swelling, acne. But cancer is number one.
That's right.
If I say salt,
3 of those things might be true, but
right.
I just type the word salt cures, and the suggested results: cancer, acne, canker sores, yeast infection. So that's my whole point. And scabies, which is great.
Unless you're really good at Googling, then you are only going to get what is, meant for you to get, which is usually salacious, or exciting, or, combative, or whatever.
Or I mean, you talk about confirmation bias. Literally, it is auto-filling your confirmation bias.
Yes.
Right. You don't even get out your full search before it's telling you, oh, here's what you want to know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's finishing your sentences. It's like your new girlfriend. You guys are so close that you're finishing each other's sentences. That's what's happening.
And we have a tendency, I think there's a book called Nudge, kind of referring to this idea that we can influence each other really in subtle ways. And I have to say, auto-filling what I'm typing in is nudging me, right? It's sort of, I didn't think of that thing. I'm gonna go on with that search because it filled it in for me. And what's interesting too, I mean, and we can talk about the stats, but the places, the states that make it difficult to be exempt from vaccination for your kids have, obviously, you would assume, and I think is obvious, but the studies show that they have higher rates of vaccination. It's when it's easier to do, like, I just got to sign a paper. Those states are plummeting in their vaccination rates. And I can tell you what's happening. You are talking to a friend about your kid starting school, or you just had a baby, and they nudge you one way or the other. Like, you know what? Have you read all the stuff about vaccinations? They are so bad for kids and they just don't know. And I think it's a big conspiracy. And you're like, whoa, I have never thought of these things. Maybe. So I think the average person can be influenced kind of either way and panic a little because it speaks to a fear of, I don't have time to think about this or research this, and I'm going to trust the authorities. And then, oh no, there's this other thing that just came out. So one anti-vaccination crap thing comes out based on some faulty stuff, and that's all you hear about it. You're not reading the hundreds of published double-blind studies that say, hey, yada, yada, right?
Right.
And so they just play on our fears of we want the best for our children. Why would we do anything to harm them? So let me tell you about some studies because this guy's question is, how do I talk to her?
Yeah.
Guess what, dude? I am sorry to inform you that those 5 children are now Typhoid Mary, and they're going to be because there is nothing you can do to change her mind. And I know that sounds so terrible, but here's the reality is they've done testing with giving people information, both like the autism correction, right? So everyone knows about the claim that the MMRI vaccine caused autism, right? That was where Jenny McCarthy got.
Yeah, and this is where that's the tipping point for most of the discussion.
For most of this, yeah. There's a lot of other things they like to talk about too, but this one. So in this study, I can tell you where it was done.
Ooh,
I should tell you.
Fancy.
That would be better. University of Exeter in the United Kingdom.
Ooh, hey,
with somebody else from Dartmouth. People, Dartmouth. Okay.
All right, Dartmouth.
So they studied if we told people about the autism correction that no, it's not actually that was false. It's been proved over and over. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Or they told them these are the risks that come with the disease. So if you get the measles, mumps, and rubella, this is what happens. It's nasty. You can die from it. There's all this stuff, right? Then the third idea they shared was they told a true story about a 10-month-old whose temperature went to 106 from getting measles just from another child in a waiting room at a pediatrician's office.
Oh my gosh, 10 months. That's a high fever for an adult.
Oh heck yeah. And that's brain damage fever, right?
Yeah.
And then the fourth thing is to show them pictures. And I could tell you it's a Mother Jones magazine if you want to see the most disturbing picture of a kid with measles you've ever seen.
Wow.
So they show this just horrifying picture of this as an example. And you would think, okay, so I want your guesses. What do you think was the most effective in changing anyone's mind of those 4 narratives? One is to correct it with science. The second one is to talk about the risks of the disease and what happens if it gets spread. Third is a story about a kid. Fourth is pictures.
Easily pictures. I think that when somebody sees that and they start imagining, it's easy for them to immediately imagine their own child in that situation.
Sure.
That'd be my guess.
That's my guess too.
Right. Okay.
I'd say photos.
So you guys clearly are not conspiracy theorists because it is the exact opposite.
Oh,
That
really?
is the worst. Yes. And there's a reason for this. Because you think, what the heck? How can you see this kid suffering? Because it's confirmation bias. It's, well, that's probably a complication of getting the vaccine. They don't believe any freaking thing you're going to say to them. Right? Everything you say is just more fuel to believe what they already believe. And that is pretty scary. I couldn't find, but I would love to know. So there was a measles outbreak and a whooping cough outbreak. I think the measles was in Massachusetts, and then the whooping cough one was in Marin County, California, right? And they had 1 death, and I forgot how many kids got whooping cough. And whooping cough is heinous. Heinous,
it's real bad.
Breaking your ribs. Like, it is awful, and there's no way to treat it. There's nothing to do until it passes. So a lot of damage can come from that. And 1 guy died from it during this outbreak. And it's because people were not vaccinating their kids from this thing. Yeah. I would love to hear from them. I want to hear from the lady who's like, I will not vaccinate my kids, who then had a child. Because the kids who are not vaccinated, who are at the most risk, are the ones who are too young to receive a vaccination, so that they and their parents do not have a choice.
Yeah.
They're just going to be exposed. And the only reason we can protect 10-month-olds is if there's a critical mass that are immunized.
Because
right?
so for some clarity here, you're saying if if a kid is too little to be vaccinated, but is in a care unit because of some other thing, let's say a rash or something, and there are other kids in there that, let's say, are 8 or 9 or 10 who should have long been vaccinated by now, because they're not, they could be carrying a bunch of stuff, measles, let's say, which is going to just ravage this 10-month-old, because the 10-month-old is exposed to something in kids who would normally not have it because they would have been immunized, otherwise have not been.
Exactly.
So immunization occurs at what age? What is the average? What is that age when that happens?
By 2, you're done. You've
So
had all your immunization. So one of the arguments Jenny McCarthy makes is like, maybe there's an alternative schedule. So I looked at some research on the alternative schedule comment.
You mean like breaking out which immunizations they get and at different times, kind of thing?
They're saying these babies are getting too many shots when they're too young, right?
Okay. All right.
And they had a chart, and I wish I could create the visual, but it is like the initial 7 shots that we started receiving in the 80s or whatever, when the initial sort of series started taking place. You took the amount of disease that was still contracted with that schedule versus what is contracted now with a quick before 2, immunized by 2 kind of schedule. Yeah. And it is alarming. So really, if you're going to vaccinate, get them done, right? And here's where the other kind of beef comes with this, is that if you think about it, we're putting a little bit of disease into a child, right? And maybe there's complications there, but they're pretty rare. That's actually the what's that called? The HPV complications. Those deaths, they cannot rule as connected to the HPV vaccination at the time, because it's complicated. Right. First of all, if a 13-year-old girl's dying, unless she's in perfect health and she dies the minute that vaccine's given, they can't really correlate those things. But the problem is, if you have confirmation bias, you assume everyone's in on the plot to spread whatever the plan is by giving kids HPV, vaccinations. So it doesn't matter what expert, anyone saying anything, everyone's in on, the conspiracy. That's why if you show these horrendous pictures to somebody who already believes vaccines are dangerous, it confirms their bias that kid has that problem probably because of the vaccine.
Yeah.
And you think, what the heck? And it's because you guys are in that category. So sadly, the answer to this guy's question is you cannot say anything. In fact, the more you say, the more you convince them they're right.
Yeah.
So what do you do with somebody like that?
Well, can you still go? I feel like you can make yourself known, though. Like, you can say you are not only harming your kids, but you're putting all of us in the extended family at risk, and any other children you're going to be around. Mm-hmm. And
every kid they go to school with, and
say, I don't hate you, I'm not going to disown you, but you need to know that I feel this way. So I have a feeling you're probably just going to blow this off, and you're going to keep doing what you're going to do, but you need to know how we feel. I mean, you can do that, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it's not necessarily going to make her go do anything different.
And you remind them that they're making a decision based on their own thoughts on somebody else's life, basically, that,
Yeah.
Well, you tell them that, but they
isn't able to make that choice themselves.
But in their minds, it's the opposite. They're saving you because, if you did like them, you wouldn't have a house full of autistic kids or whatever their dumb argument is. Mm. And, I can see how this is like me trying to convince, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, there's all this recent sexism stuff that's going on. And if you are just absolutely set in your ways that women are out to just screw men over and feminism is the devil's anus and it's here to kill you, well, then what am I going to say to change that guy's opinion? Mm-hmm. Almost nothing. Right. But I think you can at least say, this is where I'm at, so that one day when all her kids have serious issues and she's wallowing in her own like freaking misery about the poor choices that she made, she'll at least remember, well, yeah, there was that one time my brother told me to knock it off. It may not make any big difference. It may not change anything. And maybe this doesn't help him because what he wants to do here is change something. But what other way is there, Wendy? There really is no way. You'd have to kidnap the lady and put her in isolation and deprogram her.
Give her kid the measles.
Yeah, basically. And that's no way to act. That seems like a bad move. So, yeah, I mean, what do you tell people like this where, there's just nothing, is there zip you can do at all? Like, what else can he do?
Well, I think he has to sort of calculate the risk. How do you maintain a relationship with them if you still want to have one? how do you maintain that relationship? So this guy sounds like he doesn't have kids yet. And I'll tell you, that's when you will start to feel a little more strongly about this decision they've made when your child is vulnerable to whooping cough and measles and death that is has been, P.S., let's say, eradicated and now has come back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like disease that was unknown for any of us. Diphtheria, there wasn't a case for 50 years or something. And there's an outbreak here or there. And I think one of the frustrating things is there have been cases. I mean, immunizations are expensive. I have paid for them out of pocket before. It's a nightmare.
Mm.
And so insurance doesn't always cover it. I don't know with Obamacare, with preventive care, but I spent so much money once. I didn't realize they weren't about the going rate for, groceries. And
Sure.
turns out I want to say I spent $2,000 on immunizations once accidentally.
Yowza.
And then later I was like, oh. So then I went to the health department the next time and got it for $45 or something.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Anyway, but the idea that there are people unvaccinated because they can't afford it, that's one story. But Marin County, there's a reason those kids are not vaccinated, and it is not about money. There is sort of it's interesting. And I think to some extent it's that peer pressure or nudging or lots of people with strong opinions in one camp and sort of recruiting those around them and, showing them just the right things. And so there's some anti-vaccine movements, lots of nurses and practitioners and, microbiologists and, all saying, hey, this really is important, kind of trying to say there is another side to this. Let's be reasonable. So there are going to be people who are just never going to be reasonable. And then there are people who are really in the middle of the road and don't really know and are just kind of,
they don't understand
really
yet.
nervous
Yeah,
about
they don't have any skin in the game yet, but they don't know where they land, and they haven't been, either educated or miseducated or anything yet. And so I suppose there's always hope in that way. But I just don't like when these things turn into almost like a religious argument, like the way that climate change has become that fight. Like all of these things become that eventually, where the polarization feels like, Muslims versus Christians or something. And I don't understand.
Like it's a faith.
Yeah,
instead of a.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like I really don't understand it. That particular mentality is always sort of beyond me. And the immovability of people when stuff like this comes up. I like to think all of us have some stubbornness in us, and we don't like to be wrong. But I like to think occasionally somebody will remind me that I'm being a pig-headed about something or just flat wrong about it. And I like to think that I'm at least entertaining that and then looking into it, and then in some cases freaking admitting it. Oh, well, you know what? That was me being naive. I had no idea this was a thing or whatever. I try to do that. Why is that a hard... I'm not tooting my own horn here, but why is that a hard thing to do with things that involve the lives of human beings? I just don't get it.
Well, let me ask you 3 questions. Do you believe that a covert group called the New World Order is planning to take over the planet and impose a single world government?
No. No, I don't.
Do you think the moon landing was staged in a Hollywood studio?
No.
No.
Do you think 9/11 was the U.S. government deliberately allowing it to be blown up?
No.
Concoct an excuse for war. Okay, well, if you believe those things, then you believe that vaccines are a conspiracy and terrible for you and hurting.
Well, and here's what's funny. I'm going to get emails from people saying, I believe that 9/11 towers are set up by the government, but that doesn't mean I believe that. Like people are going to take umbrage with the fact that their conspiracies aren't necessarily aligned with somebody else's.
Just because I believe in that crazy conspiracy theory doesn't mean I believe in this other one.
Right. So let me give you the numbers. So people who tend towards conspiracy thinking are 3 times more likely to reject vaccinations. So they could be different. They cannot do that, but 3 times more likely than everyone else.
Okay.
There's a critical number, like the Ebola concerns.
Yeah.
The most important thing to contain any outbreak of anything actually is the collective health of the society where the breakout takes place, right?
Yeah.
And that means you have to have enough strong, healthy people. And in the United States case, not with Ebola specifically, but with all of these eradicated diseases, is that you have to have a critical mass that are immunized so that when there is an unimmunized person, they are going to not get it.
Yeah,
right?
Not only not get it, but they are better positioned to get really great help because everyone else around them is not going to get it. Does that make sense? Like if you get measles, you're in pretty good hands. Or at least that's how it's been. Although this year, what the hell's going on? These numbers are insane. Like why are we like 89% more measles cases this year alone over 2013? What is that about? That is crazy. Anyway.
Well, I don't know, but does it have to do with the kids? There's always more kids being born every year, and none of them are, even if they are on the vaccination schedule, are safe.
Yeah.
Right. So you're gonna have a jump in. So that critical mass, if that's not met, then everyone's at risk. So here's a great example. In Sweden, they do not vaccinate for chickenpox. And so most Swedes have had it as children. That's a pretty common thing when we were kids, right?
Yeah, we all had it.
The challenge is there's a kid here who's American. He's probably 23 or 4, and a kid, bless him. I'm so old. Anyway, he was not vaccinated for chickenpox. Didn't have it as a child, probably because of the critical mass of I think he's from Wyoming or somewhere where there weren't a lot of people anyway. So he just never got the disease. Well, there's a family here that has it, and they're like, well, everyone's been vaccinated, so it's just fine. Every American, and she had them over and him over, and he's like, I've never had it. Well, to get chickenpox at 25 means you get shingles, which means you have it the rest of your life, and it flares. It's the most painful, terrible. And so this idea, and this woman's kind of funny, but she was just saying like, well, it's fine, sort of relying on the critical care of, the collective has already taken care of this, so I don't have to worry about any individual not getting this. But that has shifted. That is no longer the case with measles or whooping cough. Specifically, and then we're seeing diphtheria coming back. I mean, things that should not even exist are coming back because you don't have enough people vaccinated.
Is it? What's funny is my this maybe has nothing to do with anything, but I remember as a kid thinking that chickenpox, measles, and mumps were all kind of joke diseases, and I realized they actually kill people, but at the time, that seemed like, oh, those are kid things, and you get them, and your cheeks are a little puffy with mumps, and if you get measles, you get little dots all over you, and chickenpox, same thing, and they itch real bad, but you'll be fine. Yeah. What was that? Because I feel like that was perpetrated on us as a generation.
It was like TV shows. Like I remember the Brady Bunch, acting like measles was this no big deal. It's like, oh no, Jan's got measles. She's gonna miss her big date. Or
it was
Bobby
really
got the mumps. Or it was really glossed over. To
very lightly touched, wasn't it? It was like
innocuous.
Like it was nothing. I totally agree. I don't know what that was or why that was being done. Was that just to make us all not worry, or I don't know what that was. It was an odd thing.
There's a government conspiracy to hide the fact that these are dangerous diseases.
Right. Right.
Wendy may not be aware of the voice you're doing.
Of the Jesse Ventura.
That's Jesse Ventura, yeah. Who I think is hiding in Mexico because he is also a conspiracy theorist. Anyway, so the bottom line for him, though, is this is not a thing you can sit down and convince people. I mean, I had a conversation not long ago with my mother-in-law about Jimmy Carter. I may have brought this up. It's no mystery or it's no secret that Jimmy Carter's presidency was a hard one. There was a lot of problems. Inflation was kind of out of control. The gas crisis, the Iran crisis, like a lot of problems happened on Carter's watch. There's no question about any of that. The dude's a real humanitarian, though. Yeah. And the stuff he has done since is really impressive. And one night we were sitting there talking, and I can't remember how I brought it up. I think I just said something like, oh, yeah, Jimmy Carter's still, at 80-something, still on this speaking circuit, and he's still doing this, home building thing, initiatives and all these things around the world. And she goes, ugh, worst president we ever had. Now, she would have been in her prime, I guess, during his presidency, right? She would have been young and married and whatever, so she was probably a little more tuned into what was going on or whatever. And I said, oh, no, come on. He's you should see what he's up to these days. You watch this documentary called Man from Plains. It's really interesting, and it's a kind of a no-holds look at who this guy really is and the kind of integrity I wish more politicians had today. And she just wasn't having it. She just could not deal with the idea that I was speaking positively, and at one point just quit talking to me, wouldn't answer me, turned her head and just ignored me. It was that strong of a feeling for her that he truly was, the Antichrist incarnate here on the earth. And I walked away from that irritated, but also kind of went, there is literally nothing I could have said or shown or done that would have changed her mind.
And you, in fact, solidified it.
Yeah, and there was nothing, and just to try to be open-minded about this, she thinks my enjoyment of things like The Simpsons and Futurama and cartoons that are definitely aimed toward me and not kids, that my like of those things is terrible and that I should, they're awful. She's never going to convince me of that. But so what's the difference? She's just got her.
She tried?
She's got her. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Like one time she chewed me out for this is back in the 90s because I was into The Simpsons, and I said, "Oh well, I happen to know you're up every Friday night watching Miami Vice reruns. It doesn't seem much nicer than The Simpsons." I couldn't grasp on anything else because she's such a freaking prude. And she what did she do? She stopped watching Miami Vice in an effort to get me to stop watching The Simpsons.
Really?
I said I'm not going to stop watching The Simpsons just because you're not watching Miami Vice anymore. I mean, so sad, too bad, Don Johnson. I guess there's no more you in his life. But anyway, my point is. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think there's one thing that works, and I don't know how you get anyone to do this unless you have what happened to me, and it was an assignment, but. So I was in graduate school, fairly convinced that, what's that called? Oh my God, I'm losing it.
Confirmation bias?
No, when
Simpsons?
you're...
Miami Vice?
No.
Don Johnson?
Reparations for...
Riptide.
No, reparations for...
oh
my gosh.
Alternative... No.
You guys. I'm losing it.
No.
Affirmative
action.
Affirmative action.
Oh, okay.
Good Lord. Yes.
Hey, listen, I really am losing English. It's so bad. Affirmative action. I'm sorry. Okay, so I was fairly convinced affirmative action is a great idea. It's a way to give them a leg up when we've historically maltreated people of different races. It's this, equalizer. It's all these good things, right?
Yeah.
So I was fairly convinced of that, and I had an assignment that I had to research the other side of the argument and argue it in front of a class.
Yeah.
And it was astounding, the transformation that everyone on my team made and eventually the class made, because what happened was everyone who was for didn't do any work. They just were like, well, we got this. We got a class full of hippy-dippy social workers. They're going to love this. So they got up and were like, it's the best. And you should, this should never end, and kind of went through some slavery stuff and whatever. Well, my research found that it's so too late to do it by college. It's so too late. In fact, it does more harm than good sometimes. And so I found all these numbers and found what happens if you start in preschool years and early education versus, oh, you're a freshman, let's throw you into this school with no support and say, well, you got in because you're, skin color and you dropped out. Sorry. It was really altering for me. I have a completely different view of it now. I don't think you just end it haphazardly and do nothing else. I think there's other forms and ways to,
sure,
create a more equal playing field. But I would never have gotten there if I did not have to spend hours and hours researching and writing and presenting and arguing a point that was not my own.
Yeah. And see, the problem is today, there is no incentive for somebody to do this. So if somebody claims women are being harassed at as great a rate as ever, and the internet is just making this worse, it's amplifying it, it's also making it hard to hold anyone to account, blah, blah, blah. A woman can tell you that. And if you are opposed to that, all you have to do is stay opposed. Nobody is saying to you, all right, well, to get a grade in this class, you need to go and research and argue the other side.
Yeah.
Like, that is a brilliant way to approach this, but nobody has the incentive to do it. I wish that's the thing. We could solve a lot of the world's problems if we could figure out a way for them to, for them to find a reason to.
Oh, I have a great idea. You cannot get your driver's license renewed until you write a paper arguing the opposite side of one of your strongly held opinions. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that's a great idea. Wow. Yeah, look at that. See? I mean, I know this would not go over well and everyone would hate it, or a lot of people would, but that's that's kind of the idea. Where's the incentive to expand your view or to change your perspective or to see it from someone else's point of view? You don't really have a reason to. If anything, you just have a reason to shore it up and find people like you and then shore it up more. And build barricades and
Mm-hmm.
then have an echo chamber, and then, on all sides. I don't care which side it is. I mean, the funny thing with my mother-in-law with this whole Jimmy Carter thing, as I use it as an example, is it wasn't about his politics, or wasn't about parties or party lines or any of those things in my mind, but it is for her. And that's totally what it was. I'm going, well, I don't care that he was a terrible president or made bad decisions or was the subject of bad luck and timing or any of those things. I think it's just really cool that he's got these initiatives that seem to help a lot of poor people, or great ideas that have helped a few countries out of big messes, and a lot of diplomatic skills at 89 or whatever the hell how old he is. It's pretty damn impressive that we could all be that active in these important ways at his age. Like, to me, that seems like a real easy thing to see. She just sees Democrat, hate him, can't do it, the worst.
Right. Just this big line that has no bearing on who the person is whatsoever.
Yeah.
Do you know why, though? I think it's because you have a feeling, right? You have opinions, they align in a certain way. You have an experience. She had an experience with Jimmy Carter that is still visceral for her.
Yeah.
So at the time, she had a feeling, and that feeling. So, I think we think we're logical. I think we're all full of it when we say we really just follow the science, or, whatever. We tend to be. We sort of hide behind certain things, but the truth is we usually just go with whatever our gut is. And then we have to defend that, right? So if her gut at some point was Jimmy Carter is no good, she is not going to change that with some new approach to him 30 years later when she's only gotten more stubborn, right?
Yeah.
So think about my experience with affirmative action. I remember feeling a little bit confused. Like, wait, I don't think this about this. This is confusing. Yeah. And there's sort of an unsettling experience that it's so much easier to hang on tight to whatever it is you think you know than to sort of let go and be suspended and I don't know. Yeah. And I think it gets worse with age. And then it obviously gets worse with who you're with. I read a blog post of a woman who joined the sort of anti-vaccination, posted some things on Facebook, didn't vaccinate her baby, and was really nudged by her friends and her peers and applauded left and right. And, the whole, your breast milk is enough to protect this child from freaking everything, which is so not true. Yeah. And yet this, it was awesome. She was almost a little celebrity in this sort of cult mentality, right? Well, she's always sort of liked science and was like, I'm just going to read more into this. She started getting a little nervous, right? I think a lot of the outbreaks were starting to happen. So she is reading up and reading all, going to the original sources, looking at real journals, not just Googling this. And at some point was like, holy crap, I need to vaccinate my kids. Yeah. So she did. And she started really late and, got them all vaccinated and caught up and let her friends know, and was ostracized from what she thought was her community and her friends, and
well, of course she was,
many people in her life.
Yeah.
So you realize that this gut thing is also about being right and about being safe.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's about the actual truth or what's really good for you or your children. And that's why the more he argues with her on a sort of intellectual level, the deeper this goes on a visceral feeling level, because it's based in that conspiratorial place, which is you're just part of all these other people who are, working for the man or however you view it. Yeah. But it's just going to dig you deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah. And the same goes for, the other side's no different.
No, all the same.
If tomorrow it comes out that, hey, while vaccinations were better than no vaccinations, it turns out, well, all we really needed was to melt cheese and put 2 ounces in everyone's ear or something. We would all go, what? Oh, come on. What? It would suddenly change our worldview a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'd have to
adjust.
adjust.
No one would want to let go of that as well. Absolutely. So here's one other thought he can try, is to have a conversation with her where he stops hearing the crazy and he genuinely wants to hear her feelings. Where is she coming from? Is it fear? Is it she read this thing once? Is it what her friends are saying? Really understand where she's coming from. I don't know if you've already had a lot of fights, if she'll ever really be that honest with you, but it would be really intriguing to hear where it started for her.
Yeah.
And what it's really about and what her feelings are and what's convinced her, and not say, well, that's stupid. argue. Instead, be like, wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so you started here, and this is how you feel, and this is why you're doing it.
Well, and to tie it back to my mother-in-law, I do find when I do that kind of thing where I try to push admittedly, some of those are my biases too, but push those to the side and just go on a fact-finding mission. What often happens is she doesn't have answers. And it's not putting her in a place where she's uncomfortable and can't answer. I just ask her honest questions about, how come you feel that way about so-and-so? And she doesn't have an answer. And sometimes I'll say, is it just because of like what they're saying on Fox about that guy, or is it something else? Oh no, it's not just that. But then she really doesn't have anything to say. And so you kind of do learn, oh, well, it is because she just listens to everything Glenn Beck says, or it is because she listens to everything that NBC told her, or whatever. And I don't know. There's something to that, because then they're kind of laid bare, and it isn't because they're not just rearing back and using the usual tools they use to fight. They're actually talking, and then they're either painting themselves in a corner or they're enlightening you or something. Right. But yeah, I agree with that. That's a good idea. It's hard to do though, man.
It is hard to do, and especially if you've already set the stage that you guys fight about this. Maybe it's you start with an apology. Yeah. You say, I've been kind of a jerk. And be honest. You've been a little bit of a jerk. Yeah. As soon as you sent me that email, my blood boils. I'm like, no. Because you cannot, I know the answer is you cannot talk to somebody who is convinced of that. You make it worse. And isn't that ultimately what we all want, is to be able to be heard by someone else. Well, it's same for her. Maybe she just wants to be heard. Maybe this is part of some reason for her to, who knows? But do you really know? All you're hearing is she's anti-vaccination and she's got these 5 kids and they're Typhoid Mary running around, licking furniture and, spreading disease. And there is a sort of skin crawling feeling that kind of happens. Like, you can't be given measles. And so I think that's, to be honest, there's a visceral reaction for anyone who is not in that camp to that camp going, you guys, what are you doing?
Well, and it's a life and death one. It isn't so much about whether or not you think the Giants should have won the World Series. That's a petty argument. These have real consequences on both sides as to the lives and welfare of potentially thousands, maybe millions of people. Sure. And
I love that you don't think football equates to this. It absolutely does.
Well, it does. But you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day.
It actually illustrates the point. Yeah. Which is you can't convince anyone that your team is better than their team. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're saying, but you can say, let's talk about the merits of the game. Let's talk about and concede where, you guys played really well. I mean, that I don't know if he can find things to concede with her, but he can empathize with her feelings. He can say, hey, I don't have kids. I don't understand this. My reaction is, well, I want to keep them safe. Is that the same place you're coming from? And that is where they're coming from. They believe not vaccinating their kids is the best thing for their kids. Yeah. The emotion is the same, but imagine everyone yelling at you that you're doing it wrong is only going to make you convinced you're doing it right.
Yeah, the sports analog is a good one. I hadn't really thought about that, but that's basically we're all prey to that dumb thing.
Team sports.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Well, let me tell you the states you don't want to live in.
All right. Okay.
So right. 2012 to 2013 school year, these are the percentage of kindergartners with non-medical exemptions. There are kids who are too fragile, health risk, other things that they cannot get vaccinations on the normal schedule or at all or whatever. Okay. So there's legitimate reasons not to, right? But then these are just healthy kids whose parents are deciding not to. 6+% of kindergartners in Oregon and Vermont and Michigan.
That's all these hippie states, man. Bunch of hippies.
Actually, Oregon, I think it might just be Oregon. And then the next closest is 5% to 6%. That's Michigan, Idaho, and Vermont. I lived in Vermont, and I remember being scared because I had a little kid who was getting her vaccinations. And I remember asking, like, what do I avoid? Yeah. Like the hippie play groups. Is that the best place? Right. What do I avoid? And there
muffin
was
shop play groups.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It was sort of the hippie moms, you should breastfeed your kid till they're 12. And then the very poor and uneducated were the other group. So it was pretty high. I remember that making me nervous.
Yeah, Portland,
but
I could see
let me just say, the two I don't know why this surprises me. Well, maybe. I don't know. California's in the middle. But Louisiana, Alabama, they are 0.1% to 1%. So they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's crazy. No,
Florida and
Georgia, there's some bias I have there, thinking that everything in the South is just poor and dirt water, but perhaps the priority is larger there. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then Utah and Colorado are twins at 3.1 to 4%. So your risk is equal there.
That's not too bad. Now ours is always skewed though, because we have so many kids per capita. Like it's always skewed, isn't it? That data is always a little weird. So if anything, would that be lower or higher if you take into account statistically just how many more kids live in the state, or does it?
Well, no. It's percentage of kindergartners, so it doesn't matter.
Right, but if you let's say you have double the number of kindergartners, though, 3% is a lot more kids. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot more kids.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
I guess as long as the percentage is the same. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess it's fine. Well, I'm happy to be at 3. That's pretty good. Who's the worst? You say Portland, Vermont?
Oregon.
And Michigan?
Michigan's pretty high up there. Idaho, Michigan, those are like the next group. Illinois, a little after that.
Yeah. I like that you said Illinois.
I mean,
like
California, I did not.
You did.
California is 9.1 to 3.
I think she was abbreviating Illinois is.
Oh, is. Oh, okay.
Oh, I did. Illinois is.
That's fine.
California has had a bunch of outbreaks. They had the whooping cough in 2008? They've had diphtheria. They've had a few bad measles. It was measles in 2008. And their number's 2.1% to 3. So they're actually better off than Utah. But again, that's people. There's a lot of people there too.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's the enclaves. It's that critical mass is not healthy. And then it, starts out. It's pretty, I don't know. It just seems like, are we still talking about this crap?
I know.
Sometimes
It seems crazy to me. But there are a lot of things I can't believe people are still talking about, or that we haven't resolved, or I thought was gone and isn't. Like, I hear about it occasionally. And again, who knows who's saying it? Who knows how small it is? Who knows how big it is? The science is what will bear it out in the long run. And if things are on the rise, then that points to something. So you got to figure out what. And if that's just dumb attitudes, then we got to, I don't know, we got to do stuff. And this guy obviously is feeling a little helpless. And we hope that this has helped him today a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel slightly
less
helpless.
It's hard what he has
about
to do, though. It's hard.
Oh, it's really hard. I can't even imagine.
Because this is probably his brother's wife.
Probably. I mean, imagine how hard it would be.
Imagine.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm imagining.
Wendy, always a pleasure hanging out and talking about this stuff. Any homework for anyone? Or you got any? You haven't done homework in a while. You got any homework?
Yeah, here's some homework.
Some
homework.
I never played your theme, by the way. I made a theme and everything here.
Yeah.
That's for our Swedish word coming up. We'll get to that in a minute.
Why? So
I know it's Swiss, but it was from some Swedish artist, so I don't know why.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything else. Anyway.
Let's see. What were we saying? Oh, my homework. Okay, it's the same thing that we're telling the guy to do, but it doesn't have to be about vaccinations.
Right.
Just find somebody. Maybe it's your mother-in-law, and it's about Jimmy Carter. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your child. Find somebody that you butt heads with, and just try this trick of it's fact-finding mission, not argument or I have a point. You're just going to listen and just see if you can get any sense of what their gut is telling them, and that, because the reality is we can respect someone who goes with their gut. But when we think their gut's wrong, we don't respect that. But really, they just go with their gut. So it's a little exploratory mission. Everyone try it.
Okay.
See what happens.
All right. Like a little, it's like a little outpatient procedure. We're just we're doing a biopsy. Yeah, it's totally fine.
Okay, so let me find my Swedish thing.
Yeah, find your Swedish word. Here, I'll keep this going while you're finding this. There you go.
Okay, there we go. All right, I like this. This is kind of awesome.
All right.
So some of it's a little made up, but so is half of any language, right? You just kind of add things to it. But the original two, I'm going to tell you, are really true.
Okay.
And the rest is like funny. All right. So B-O means it's sort of where you live. So I live on Ravsbovagen, which is the Ravsbo, or Ravs is fox. And
Fox.
Bo is the home. So I live in the home of foxes, basically. And I see foxes when we drive
weird.
around.
Really? Okay.
Kind of awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bo, you add that to something to kind of say where people live, right?
Yeah.
So there is the first one is called sambo, and that is when you cohabitate. So that's the word for two people living together who are not married.
Okay.
That's sambo.
Sambo, right?
And then sarbo is you're married. You have a married-like relationship, but you live in separate houses.
Ooh, it's like Ricky and Lucy to the extreme. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but
Totally
it ends
different
with Bo. That's really so. That's not one home.
So no, it's just the prefix tells you the situation, and then bo is means how you live, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So then it gets better. Ready?
Yeah.
So mambo means you live with your mom.
Awesome.
And then combo, Kombo, means you live with your friends.
Oh, it's not just a tasty snack that's real bad for you. I buy at the gas station. Okay.
What about a deluxe combo?
Yeah, a deluxe combo. Okay, and then smigbo means you're sneaking around, kind of living relationship, kind of back and forth.
All right.
A little bit of sneaking going on.
Okay.
And then sniltbo is when you're mooching off your friends.
Smiltbo.
Sniltbo, couch surfing.
With an N.
Oh, Sniltbo.
Sniltbo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
What
some
about
I love
Haribo?
mambo. That's my favorite.
Haribo, yeah.
Haribo, is that
Yeah,
where
it's
your gummy
Haribo,
bears
I think.
live?
Wendy won't get that because I don't think they have that candy there.
Oh.
Well, she used
What
to-
is it?
You used to love gummy bears, right? That was a thing for you.
I just had some like a half hour ago.
So you remember the Haribo brand? Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Okay, that's what we were talking about.
So we're thinking that's where your gummy bears live, is in
Yes,
Haribo.
the
Haribo. Yeah,
yeah.
see? Hari is probably like a hairy man. That's where he lives. Hey, right? Hari?
I live in hair.
I live in hair. Great.
Yes, those
Brilliant.
are good.
Wendy, have a good time. And thanks for hanging out with us. And the final episode, by the way, of season 1 of the therapy show is up. Episode 12. We just put that up. And and feedback's been great so far, but I really enjoyed where that one went. Real interesting one. So people should check that out at frogpants.com/therapy. Wendy, have a fun Halloween.
You too.
We'll see you later.
Bye-bye. Happy
Alrighty. Okay. It's her favorite holiday, but she hardly has any of the stuff you would normally want over there.
Right.
Oh, well.
Well, they do it. They do the door-to-door stuff, right? They do the trick-or-treating.
I don't know. She didn't say. I should have asked, but I think it's so hard to get decorations, and people just don't take it as seriously, is what she was saying. So maybe they don't. I don't know. And they live out in the middle of nowhere, so nobody's going to come anyway.
Oh,
Brian, it's so sad.
It makes me sad.
All right, we're going to go now. We are having our thing tonight. It's the trivia show, and it's happening. And it's going to happen tonight at 5 o'clock p.m. So be here live. We just got an email from Dave. There's some people can't be here that bought in. But
Well, yeah, so we've got one of the people who's a Patreon supporter will be there.
Yeah.
A couple people can't make it, but here's the other thing. Here are the packages, like the prize packages. You could win. There's packages actually for each of the 4 Frog Pants producers. So the Tom package is a Tadpool pint glass, a signed Sword and Laser album art signed by Tom and Veronica, a TMS print, an In the Clip Clop bumper sticker and other stickers, as well as Doghouse Systems t-shirt and mouse pad.
Oh, nice.
Justin has the same thing with FSL tonight, signed by Justin and Tom.
Well, prize central is what this sounds like.
Darn right. These are some awesome prizes. So,
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
If you want to make sure this thing happens on a regular basis, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until tonight to say, oh, yeah, that was a good pilot. I think I'll support it. Go into patreon.com/TMS and throw a donation out there. Or if you've already got a donation, add a few cents to it. Add $1 to it.
Yeah.
Easy,
sneezy. Don't eat, or don't buy that one song from Amazon that one time that month and look, that extra $1
right.
can go to something like
Don't
this.
buy that All About the Bass song that you really want.
Nobody wants that, dude. Nobody. It's all about that bass.
Right.
It's all about that, avoiding that bass.
Hey, do you hear that? Do you hear that sound? It's the sound of somebody hovering over a router.
Yeah, I can almost hear the voice that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna add that voice to the show. We're gonna wing this here. Whoa! Look what's happening there. I gotta move my cursor keister.
Move your keister.
Yeah, we'll get her in here. We should do a little theme for her. I don't have anything like. Okay, how about this one?
Giving Tourette syndrome a context in which to be blurted.
It's Carrie. Carrie, you there?
I appreciated you just talking about your butt for a few minutes there. That was fun.
Of course. It's how we do.
So what? It's a Thursday already? Wow.
Wow, weird.
Right.
It's good to have you back. It's Cleo. She comes on the show on Thursdays after everything's all sewn up, and she tells us what the hell happened during the week that was funny and interesting in and around the
nice
tadpole.
little bow on it.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's a nice little bow. And so give us your bow. What do you got?
I'll give you my bow. I changed my picture, so I believe it's my Halloween picture.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Not sure.
I just noticed. This is very scary.
Went a little heavy on the makeup for date night.
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah,
but,
we did Day of the Dead for a Halloween party.
Yeah,
so
that's really cool.
Very nice. Looks good.
Dia dos Muertos.
Oh, no.
So,
Which was good when I stopped to get gas because the guy at the gas station freaked out. It was great.
So wait, when you say date night, it was like a party or something, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like a party.
It wasn't just like you guys going to Denny's together dressed up like that. Like you actually had a thing to go to.
You know, went to IHOP for pancakes, said, put on a little extra.
Ah,
yeah.
good.
No.
Perfect.
So this was a Halloween party that I went to.
That's what you want. Well, sweet. Well, lay it on us. What did we do? How did we go?
All right, here we go. Cockroach invades the local alderman meeting in Chicago. Cinder Flame said that a Chicago politician and a cockroach actually go quite well together.
He's not wrong about that.
For
Good.
Marvel movie characters, the character being played by Vince Vaughn, who you said was Frank Seaman, before Tank Girl said in his life as an unassuming everyday man, he works 9 to 5 in the porn studio that he owns with one person named John Cox.
Big shocker there.
Good.
Yeah.
Chinbeard's discussion of Jim Stink and where it comes from. Another Jay Martin announced that it comes from Sneaky Nuts, and why didn't anyone know that?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Quick and
And things on Brian Ibbott's tombstone. I don't even know how this got started, but we went down this road for some reason. Shinago says that when Coverville dies, his tombstone will say, covered by dirt. That's the winner. I'm done.
All right. Have fun Halloweening with the kids and stuff, will you?
Yeah.
I will. Hang up on me.
Halloweener. Bye. All right. She's gone. All right, Brian, I think we should leave with a song because it's tradition and you brought one. So
Sure.
what the hell is it?
Did you need to do did you already do the wrap up stuff of
I did. No, I did not. You're right about that.
people can get a hold of us?
Frogpants.com/TMS. By the way, the TMS links, the TMS song request link is now up there on the Contact Us page along with everything else. So you can go do that. I even put up our, in fact, let me pull it up, make sure I did it right. Yeah, there it is. I put up a hotline number that people can use. It doesn't mean we're going to use it on the regular, but if you guys have something you really want to say for the show and it's in audio form and it's you calling in or whatever, you can leave us a message there as well. So if you go to the Contact the Show link on the webpage at frogpants.com/TMS, there are links for the song requests, our forums, email, all that stuff, and the hotline, which is 801-471-0462. Just say you're calling for TMS, and it may be something we use on the show.
Nice.
So that's all there. And what else? Twitter, Morning Stream, Scott Johnson, Coverville. Those are where you can find us on those. See you guys tonight at 5. All right, Brian, go.
Okay. Jordan from Ohio.
Yeah.
Wrote and said, hey guys, on October 30th, I celebrate my girlfriend and my 1-year anniversary. She's the love of my life and has quickly become my better half. I would be lost without her, and I'm so thankful for her. In honor of this awesome day, I'd like to request I Believe in a Thing Called Love, covered by Branches. It has an awesome bluegrass vibe and is super chill. Love the show, though. Jordan from Ohio. So kind of in the same vein as the Get Lucky cover that we played earlier. This one takes a song that is normally like really upbeat and rocking and mellows it out just a little bit. This one doesn't mellow it out quite as much as the Daft Punk cover we played earlier. It still kind of keeps the same tempo, but instead of it being a big glam rock heavy metal piece, it takes it into bluegrass. This thing is awesome. This is from their covers album, which came out in this year. Awesome stuff, and will probably be, it came out in 2012. I was going to say will probably be on the end of year list, but now it won't because it was 2 years ago. So, it is Branches. I Believe in a Thing Called Love, originally by The Darkness.
All right, here it is. We'll play it now. We'll be back tonight, so be here then. Mm-hmm. And then if you're not here for that, well, we'll be back Monday too.
Yeah.
Next week, BlizzCon, so things are a little short-weeked, but we'll let you know on Monday what that's going to be. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you then.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making.